This week we're looking at a couple different things. First, we're looking at seeing the big picture, which has been a theme of mindful leadership and of the semester, and also reaching our potential. So going back to seeing the big picture, the idea is that oftentimes we are only paying partial attention. We're not fully present. It's something that I'm sure you guys have noticed more and more as the semester has gone on, when people are present, when they're not, when you're present and when you're not. And again, is anybody ever going to be perfect and be present all the time? No. But hopefully through mindful leadership, we can slowly progress and get closer to that point. I've included a video. It's a technology poem, but I always show it to all my students. I don't think it really has any effect on them, but it's a great video just to showcase how reliant people have become on technology and how that is the first thing they go to whenever they have a free second. Even when they're in the middle of something, they check their phone, they check their waiting for a message, waiting for a text, waiting for something on Instagram, and they're just not present. And technology has really hampered that. I think that video does a really good job of highlighting that. It's important when we think about the bigger picture, not to get caught in that particular moment, not to stress over a detail that really in the big picture doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that we're trying to learn in here is if you are in a moment and you're stressed, for example, for me, I've been working through our taxes and we had an issue today, and just to kind of relax, step back and look at the bigger picture. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, will this be an issue? No, probably not. A week from now, it probably won't be a big issue. So to step back, put it in context and see the big picture and keep that main focus, I think is huge. And that's one of the goals, as I said, of mindful leadership, to focus on the bigger picture and realize there's more out there than just this one issue. There's an opportunity to make a great difference if we can move on and see what is actually out there. And then we miss that big picture. The book gives a good example of that, where we miss the bigger picture because we're so focused on the present. And just take a step back and see what the bigger picture is. And once we see what that bigger picture is, we have the opportunity to make changes, to focus on that bigger picture and not get caught up in those smaller details. And again, I think that's at the heart of mindful leadership, to keep that in mind. If something bad happens, take your time, have that pause, collect your thoughts, collect your ideas, and let's keep moving on. The next chapter talks about reaching our potential. And as we've seen this semester, it's as I always say, it's taking baby steps. It's going little by little, but you guys have, I'm sure, realized how far you've come in this mindfulness and being able to reach our potential as a mindful leader. And we are also creating space, which I think is important. It's something that that's an area I really strive to improve, creating more space, creating time to think, creating that opportunity for me. And it's something, as we saw in our different chats and our different assignments, it's easy to eliminate that time, but when we do so, it really isn't beneficial. And ideally, reaching our full potential means taking time for ourselves, taking time for us to think and see that bigger picture and how great we truly can be if we really focus on mindful leadership. There's a reason why this continues to grow, and you continue to see more and more organizations behind mindful leadership, implementing mindful leadership, having programs, having people come to their workplace. Again, it makes us more present. It makes us more attentive. I've noticed, even going through the semester, as a teacher of the course, I'm sure you guys have as well, how much more present you are, how much more attentive you are, and because of that, how many things you could miss out on otherwise if you just aren't present or attentive. And that's the way most people live their lives. You're not fully in the moment, and it doesn't allow us to reach our potential. And the book points out, which I think is a good point, there's a change from what I want to be to who I want to be. And that's something we've definitely seen when we look at those different characteristics of a mindful person, and having that compassion, being able to connect with people is huge. Being focused, those type of things are really important, and allows us to become who we truly want to be. I always thought it's interesting, when we grow up as kids, you're told you can be anything you want in the world. The world's your oyster, but slowly that oyster shuts as time goes on, and we no longer think about how great we can be or who I want to be. And it's more so, okay, get a job, get a house, and go through life, and not seeing that bigger picture, realizing truly how great we can be. And when we do that, that ripple down effect it can have. I'm sure you guys all could point out people that have had a major impact on you in life. And as we go through this program, and hopefully you guys will continue this, or some of these techniques and traits after the class, you see the impact you can have on others. And that's really ties in not only seeing the bigger picture, but also reaching our potential.